Now the microphone is on as well. How's the light? Let's have a look at the light. A bit more light in. Oh no, this is crazy. Crazy light this. Hello everybody. My name is Carsten Timmermann. I'm a senior lecturer in the history of science, technology and medicine at Chiston. And it's my time to tell you a little bit about myself. Brief has been brief. Incidentally, if there's noise in the background, it's my son who is playing computer games and shouting at his mates. Okay, I'm a historian. I'm mostly a historian and mostly of medicine and the biomedical sciences, although my tastes are quite eclectic, I think. I started off as a biochemist. My undergraduate degree is in biochemistry. I studied in Berlin. I then spent a couple of years working in a lab in San Diego, California, and then decided that perhaps working in a lab wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I applied for master's programs in the history of science, technology and medicine. I got PhD funding, stayed for a PhD, then won postdoc funding, and I've been here ever since, and I'm now a regular lecturer, senior lecturer. My research interests are in the history of fairly recent medicine. In fact, with the most recent project, I've looked at history that I was taught as new stuff when I studied biochemistry. So in some ways I've come full circle. This most recent project was a project funded by a pharmaceutical company, Hoffmann La Roche, who wanted someone to write the history of their cancer research program. So in some ways that project was a combination of science communication and history of science, funded for promotional purposes. I didn't have to, I could write what I wanted. Nobody told me what to write. This worked out quite well for me because I had worked on the history of cancer before, and before that I had done history of other modern diseases. I have written on the history of high blood pressure and why we think of a physiological parameter, which blood pressure is, as pathological when it reaches a certain level. And that's not trivial. It's got to do with something called risk factors, the perception of risk. It's got to do with fairly elaborate epidemiological studies where you find that the higher the blood pressure in a section of the population, the higher the risk of people in that section of the population to develop cardiovascular problems. So those are my research interests, really. But I'm also interested in I'm interested in mental illness, mental health, partly because I teach a unit on madness and society in the modern age. And that's probably all I need to say. I look forward to working with you.